By now, you should all know there's probably between 550 and 600 of these recordings, video on Facebook, on YouTube, which is kind of like a reference library of the work, completely available to whoever wants to go there, no charge, nothing, where every one of these talks I give after the class, they're all recorded and they're put there for, I guess, all posterity, It's pretty extraordinary. So if you have time to go there, it's like a reference library, Rudra meditation. Does anyone have a question they'd like to ask?
Stuart, it's Brad.
Yes, Brad.
In 72 years, I've spent a lot of time becoming something. Can you talk about becoming nothing?
You can't become something until you become nothing, look, the something we want to become is a fixation of the mind. It has to do with ego and self-image and importance and who we are in this world. And it clouds up reality because whatever we project that we're supposed to become, ultimately, first of all, it never becomes exactly that. And we become something that is a figment of our own creation. To become nothing doesn't deny you the right to live in the world, and it's not a negative thing. What you're surrendering is your ego, your opinions, your judgments of right and wrong, everything that congests you inside and keeps you from having a spiritual life. And once you become decongested inside, it gives the spiritual energy room to flow through you and to nurture you and to build a system that will connect you to God. That system enables you to function in the world, work out your karma, have all the success that you're supposed to have in your life. And at the same time, as I always say, you're connected to spirit. You're getting your nurturing and your nourishment from a higher source of energy in the universe. So it's a matter of really transforming all of this kind of illusion and delusion that we live with, all this chaos that's inside us, into a state of nothingness. And that state of nothingness means that we are open to receive whatever the universe is going to put into us to help us to grow. And that manifests in our daily life. Because you can't separate yourself from your daily life. And everything in your daily life is a reflection of your inner life. And if you're full of chaos, your life is going to be full of chaos. If you're full of politics and material things and money and blah, that's what your life is going to be. If you're full of spirit, it'll provide you everything to satisfy Caesar. So you don't have drama and, angst with Caesar, the world, karma. And at the same time, there's peace, there's quiet, there's spiritual development inside. There's a high, joy, love, happiness, the highest levels of what it means to be a human being living here. That is what surrender is all about. Letting go. Letting go of this jigsaw puzzle we have inside of all these pieces of ourselves, which we're trying to put together, and we're just manufacturing in our own brain. Instead of just surrendering it, letting the energy flow, and whatever you are inside yourself, your life will become. Whatever tests you need, to build yourself as a human being, your life will manifest it, and you will learn how to grow and get stronger than all these things. I'm telling you that this is the way that I survived in my life, because I used to throw myself in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean and look for shore. That's how I used to function in life. huge situations I took on myself, and I realized the only, as Rudy said, the fastest way out of town is up. I would go up, get the energy. It gave me the strength to deal with all these kinds of situations I was involved with in my life. And I began to realize I knew I needed these situations that came because they were a constant reminder that I had to get stronger, I had to grow, I had to get free of these deep-seated insecurities in myself, fears in myself. I needed big situations to remind me to do that. And then I also knew that I had to go where the energy was, and that was spirit, in order to build myself. So I needed to clear the pathway in me so that energy could flow through and manifest in my life. Now, this is not easy. I'm not, but then, as I've said 150 billion times, the only person we're up against is ourselves. I mean it. That part of us that says, I can do this. I can clear up me. I can overcome all the obstructions inside myself. I can get past that because behind those obstructions is a pot of gold. There's all that you'll ever need to grow and have an extraordinary life.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Brad. And it'll also help you overcome fear, insecurity in yourself. There's parts of you that are kind of hiding in the cave, that don't want to come out. And the incredible thing about this, you never know what it's going to bring. You absolutely never know what that energy is going to bring into your life. And to me, it's the most extraordinary adventure on the earth. The voyage through oneself. And I've traveled a lot. And trust me, nothing compared to it. Nothing. I've been all over the world, and nothing compares to the voyage through oneself. Does anyone else have a question? So I have just a few announcements. I've been making them. On Thursday, I'm going to be going away for a few weeks. And as I said, I've been doing this meditation now online for 2.5 years, virtually straight. I think there was a week I went to Costa Rica. I didn't do it. And I need a vacation. I need to absorb 2.5 years of this teaching, because the teaching is on such a higher level now that I have never really, heard words like this come out of me. I've never had energy like this come out of me. And I need to really absorb it. And sometimes a good general, as Rudy always used to tell me, has to know how to retreat a little bit, so you can really regroup yourself and absorb everything. So that's what this trip is going to be about: regrouping, absorbing, coming back with a much deeper sense of surrender and openness to not only myself, but to all of you. So I'm going away Thursday. I'll be back. The next class after Wednesday will be, I think, on the 19th. The 19th. Also, I sent Bob 2 more posts from my website. If you haven't read these things yet, I know I've written them, but I have to recommend them. I mean, they're really something, these things, very profound. They're very beautifully written. God knows, I don't think I even wrote them. They just came through me, you know? And now I had two more I sent him, one for next weekend and the weekend after. And now I also finished two more of them I'll send to him, so that all the time I'm gone, at least those posts will be there. You know, they'll be on my website. Does anyone else have a question? I would like to ask. To be honest, I don't know what's happened to me, but over the last 6 months, there's been such profound change inside that I never experienced anything like it before, to a depth that I've never known before. And the classes are like that, the talks are like that. It's just becoming something that I really need to absorb, and I need to, you know, make a permanent part of my inner life and not allow anything to interfere with it.
Stuart, I have a question. I'm saying. So while you are gone, how best for us as students to be working differently to sustain and to grow during this period?
Well, you know, Bob, one day I'm not going to be here. You know, Rudy is not here anymore. You know, and people have to also learn to do this on their own. You know, you have a picture of a teacher, could be Rudy, Nityananda, myself, I don't know who, you know, and you sit down every day for at least a half hour and do your inner work. Do your inner work. You know, and it's like Rudy always used to tell me, one day I'm not going to be here. Learn what I have to teach. Learn it. You know, and grow with it and use it to build your own independent connection to God. I mean, I probably loved him more than anyone that's ever been in my life. You know, and he used to tell me all the time, don't love me, love God. Don't love me. He said, tell me this. I said, Rudy, it's impossible. He said, don't love me. Do your inner work. Build a system inside yourself that connects you to God. That's what you're here for. That's what I'm here to teach you. And to be honest, that's what I'm here to do, to teach you how to build that kind of system, so that anyone who comes here builds their own independent connection to God. And it's not some stupid ass, you know, ego thing where I'm better than you and you're, you know, I mean, I've had this bullshit with people all my life, you know. They get a little power inside themselves and suddenly it becomes spiritual ego, you know, and they're better than everybody else. You know, I mean, I've had that. It's gratitude. The thing that allows this to work for me is that right at the center of my heart is my beloved Rudy. He's right there. Every class, every moment of my day, he's there. And he guides me, blesses me in my life. And I bow to it and I'm grateful for it. And never think that I am the one doing this. I am not the one doing this. I've had too many people in my life who they became teachers and they really began to believe they were doing this. You know, they had some insane self-image of themselves as playing the role of God. And those people all fall away. I mean, Rudy sent me to Texas, you know. He was with me all the time. Otherwise, I don't know how I could have survived Texas. You know, it was something down there. It was quite an experience. And really, it was like spiritual boot camp, you know, Denton, Texas. So what I'm saying is, you are here to learn what I have to teach. What I have to teach And what I have to help everyone that attends these classes is to build a chakra system that is strong enough in themselves so they can have their own independent connection to God. And this only comes through devotion, through love, through gratitude, through, training. It came to me through training, sitting at the foot of my teacher for years, getting his training. And right now, because of COVID, we have Zoom, and Zoom has really, the classes have been very powerful, and there is a great deal of training through this venue. Take advantage of it. Build your connection with God. Because that really is the key to all of this. And that's the greatest service that anyone that is here can do for me. Anyone. So maybe my going away is good. It'll teach people how to sit down at home and work on themselves. You'll come to my classes when I come back much more open. It'll be extraordinary. I'm not here to have disciples. You understand that? I really am not. I've had disciples. It just doesn't work. I'm here to be a Kundalini aerobics instructor. In fact, I have a t-shirt, an orange t-shirt that says Kundalini aerobics. I should wear it to these classes. And my job is to pass on to you everything that I've learned in my life. And it's coming. Take advantage of this. I remember the last year of Rudy's life, it started to come through him in such a profound way. I remember he met me at the airport once. I flew in from Texas to New York. And, his head probably grew 4 inches just where I saw him. The energy, the Shakti, the markings, I was extraordinary. He said, take your eyes off my head. We're having dinner and I couldn't take my eyes off his head. Take your eyes, eat dinner, the changes were so vast and incredible inside him. And it's going on with me now. The changes are so deep and incredible. Take advantage of them. I have people that don't want to come to Zoom classes. Frankly, they're a bunch of schmucks. I really mean it.
Yeah.
They expect me to give them in-person classes that are not willing to do this. Forget it. Any of you want in-person classes, come. I have them here. Does anyone else have a question?
Thank you, Stuart.
You're welcome. I don't have rituals. I don't have all this stuff. I do have an enormous amount of Shakti and a very profound connection with a higher energy in the universe. And it only exists because of gratitude, humility, and a deep sense of me not being the one who does this. I remember Rudy told me after I taught my first class, we'll go to Big Indian. First he'll teach, then I'll teach, and then we'll show cartoons. When I began to realize that I could be replaced by the Roadrunner, it really gave me a lot of humility for what this is all about. I really needed to work on myself.
That's great.
Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? So the classes don't stop because I'm going on vacation. Understand? The classes continue, you continue, do your work, I do my work. And, December will be like any other month. And, as I said, you want to find your teacher, look in your heart, and then have profound gratitude. And that that consciousness will serve you every day of your life. You want to find anyone that you love, your children, your parents, they're in your heart. Even if they're a pain in the ass when you're around them, you open your heart, they're there, you can love them, you know? Does anyone else have a question? Oh, one other thing, on Rudy Samadhi, I plan to have a retreat. And, but, it's becoming problematic because I went to find out about renting space in this town and they want $300 an hour, to rent a room here. So I can't do that. So the only way I can do this is that in order to rent a space here, I can probably find something more reasonable than that. I need to have at least 20 people registered. Right now, there's 10 people registered. And if 20 people don't register, I'm going to do it in my own apartment here. And all I can fit is 8, the first 8 people that register. So if you want to come, register, get it above 20. I will find a place to do it. Retreats are really powerful. It's Rudy Samadhi, and, they're transformative. They change people in 2-3 days of doing that kind of intense work. But I have to do it that way, because I can't get 12 people and it's going to cost me, a fortune just to rent the room. But if 20 people sign up, 22 people, 25, then it becomes possible. So if you want to come, don't wait till, February 20th in order to tell me you want to come, because if I don't have a group like that, I'm going to have to just cut it off at 8, which is what I can fit here, because I'm going to do a retreat. So if you want to come to this, just sign up, tell Jennifer, and she can tell you what all the stuff is. You can send a deposit and hold a place, and you can, and we'll do a retreat. So God bless you all. We'll have a class on Wednesday. I'll also have a class on Thursday at 1:00 for the people in Europe and Israel. And if you want to attend that class, just send me an email. I will put your name on a mailing list and you will be invited to that class. It's at 1:00 my time, which is about 10:00 on the West Coast. And I'm not sure what it is in Brazil now. But anyway, you two come anyway, so it doesn't matter, in that class. Okay, if there are no more questions, God bless you all. Thank you for being in my life. And I have just deep, profound gratitude for your presence here and for these classes. Bless you.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.